What is going on? Welcome to the All Things Music Podcast, here with Ian Illyrian in Columbus, Ohio, talking to our boys in 1056, specifically Aaron and Arnaud. How you guys doing today?
Doing great. How are you guys doing?
Excellent. How's tour so far?
Tour's been great. I think we're on show 3. The first one wasn't really a part of the tour.
It was, though.
I was going to bring that up later,
well,
but we could bring it up now if you want.
So the first show was supposed to be Blue Ridge,
yes,
which got cancelled and then got replaced by a last-minute show in
Greensboro, North Carolina.
Beautiful.
In Greensboro, North Carolina, and it sold out in one day, and it was awesome.
Sold out in fucking minutes, actually.
Really? And how last minute was the planning for that?
We got the schedule and the final lineup when we woke up, probably an hour before loading in.
Wow.
So we were like exchanging messages down till like 6 in the morning to run logistics, because obviously. But I guess like the last thing, it was the last piece missing, because the people were already there and sleeping in Greensboro. Sleeping, like, probably many people had accommodations that went to Blue Ridge, had accommodations to Greensboro, so it was just like waiting for something, and we just had to be there, and then it just like filled up instantly, and people were grateful. So were we.
Absolutely.
Club show is paramount to us, and we did great, had a great time. People were amazing to us, and what a kickoff! What a kickoff for the start.
Kickoff, kickstart, whatever.
What a kickstart to a tour.
Yeah. So how much of a headache was because you didn't really have the Blue Ridge experience because you were day 4?
Yeah, we were supposed to play on the 10th, which was day 4.
And so that was outright canceled before day 3 even went. So there wasn't as much headache as some of these other bands. I watched Tank the Text video. I don't know if you saw that as well.
No.
He kind of, for half hour, give or take, took us all on a journey on what went wrong from a TM standpoint. And
I've got to see it. It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
I heard about this. I haven't watched it, but I heard about it, yeah.
Oof. I mean, things from having one flatbed truck for load-ins, having no air conditioning for artist tents, no catering, getting the autograph sessions mixed up so that there's a band sitting down while the sign says it's a different band entirely, so you have fans confused. The other band that's supposed to be signing coming up and being like, hey, this is our turn, but they're being told 10 different things at once. So it sounds like you avoided a bit of a circus, but I'm sure it was still not exactly great for you to find out that your festival appearance in the States was canceled. That's not a good feeling.
Yeah, I mean, we were definitely looking forward to doing that festival. I mean, I've seen a lot of people jump on the Fuck Blue Ridge train. I mean, I can imagine they just got overwhelmed, and I think it happens to a lot of festivals that grow at such a fast rate, so we're not going to jump on that train at all. We were just happy. I mean, we did take a small financial hit, but
sure.
The fact that we were able to play our debut show in the US, and the lineup was so great, and that organization was incredible. We had a good time. Yeah, we were just grateful. We're just happy to be here, man.
Okay. I got to ask you about this. I saw Franz posted this on Twitter a couple of days ago, and I want to know you probably do. I want to know how enforced this is. So it says, and for those that can't see on the camera, it says, Attila, reminder, per the Attila tour contract, Article 6, Section 9, of course, no touring persons are permitted to jack off under any circumstances for the duration of the tour. Sex is okay, but any form of masturbation is strictly forbidden and may result in a $350 fine deducted from your guarantee, or in some cases, maybe result in removal from the tour.
Yeah.
Have you violated this yet?
There is. No, we just fuck each other, so it doesn't count.
Oh, well, I mean, listen.
We just have to provide a video.
Okay.
To make sure that like sexual encounter actually happened, because otherwise it can be considered as cheating. But other than our private encounter, I'm still like 1,400 in debt so far.
Oh man!
And it's day 1 of the enforcement of this law. So
yeah, so you're gonna have to take out
a few wanks and a half. That's one wank that stopped halfway through, I think. Yeah, they do like ball weighing sessions to check the weight of our balls. yeah,
Respect in regards to hygienic rules, right? Like
Yes.
it is wiped in between.
yeah,
Does the scale get cleaned in between
yeah.
weighings?
Yeah, very sanitary.
Good.
I saw that. I was like, I got to bring that up because that was just amazing.
No, I'm jacking off every day, I reckon.
I mean, we have to. Dude, there's so much stress about the tour life. I'd be killing someone. I'd be in prison so fast if I couldn't get that relief. But that's another conversation.
To be completely honest and objective here, there's something to be said about post-cum clarity when you're performing. You know, you have more energy, you're more focused, you're not worried about other things.
And it also goes with all touring business
I'm not
related
gonna hold
issues.
this.
Oh, I thought we were friends. Okay. Yeah, no. That goes with all like business related, touring business related stuff that we have to deal with, like some clarity, some focus, some.
That's right. You
Yeah.
can't do good TMing, advancing anything if you're thinking about.
I'd be angry
Boobs all the time.
I'd be angry. I'd be very authoritarian. I'm not that. I'm the
See
nicest
these
dude.
forearm muscles?
Ooh,
That's no accident.
Oh.
is one forearm's larger than the other, or are you switching around?
Yeah. I'm switching holes, you know.
Because if you don't switch, you get what's called that sidewinder. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, drumming balances it out. Even
There you go.
I'm fine with it. It's cool.
He's
Excellent.
blasting with both hands. Yeah.
Jesus. Well, let's. Yeah.
Anyway,
We'll come back to the masturbation discussion, but I do want to talk a little bit of music. So, something most recent is the song that you were able to do with Resolve, the vocalist, and Paleface, the Older Days.
yes.
Yes, and a couple questions on that. One, that song is awesome. I love the melodic mixed with, I think, everybody's styles. Everybody has something to offer in that song, and it's showcased really well. Was the video a live one take?
Yes.
Okay, because we were discussing that in the car. I hadn't watched the video, and it's really, for me, a musician, I don't do much vocalization, but that's got to be pretty stressful because I don't know how many times you did the take.
Oh, I think we did, I want to say 6 takes, but the first one, Robin, their bass player, forgot to press record. So that didn't count. I think we did 5. So it was like a 2-day ordeal. Me and Zelly went over there. We wrote our parts all together in the studio. We recorded the studio version.
Right.
And then we did like 5 takes of the live one.
And how different is the live to the studio as far as, I mean, you would know this because you heard both a lot.
Well, I preferred the live version.
Yeah.
So after that, I think we used the template of what happened live to mix the actual track.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like the flows and the placements, and they just matched better in the live version, so they based the studio version off the live version.
And I know that from my experience, when I go ahead and do something really well and don't press record on accident or on purpose, it's usually the best take.
It was.
Yeah. It's always the most unfortunate thing. I'll do like a guitar playthrough and I'll have everything set up and I'll be ready to record, but I'm like, let me go ahead and play it first to make sure I have everything right to a T, because you know these fans, they're like, oh, he played that a little bit wrong. So I make sure it's right and I do it and I'm like, God, that was amazing. All right, time to record. And I'm like, I'm fucking this up and this up. It's just such a head game, man. There's something to be said about that.
It's the red light syndrome.
Yes.
Yeah, and that goes with like recording albums. That goes with just creating content. A few times we try to do this kind of things on purpose. Obviously, as soon as you press the record button, as soon as you know you're like, everything you do is engraved on a drive, just like, there are so many reasons to do this wrong. And that's what happens usually.
It's scary. Like we both DJ, and I was recording a DJ set last night, and man, I must have taken 20 takes. And you know, it's like there was the one that I did right at the beginning where I'm like, it was just like a practice run, but it was like the best run, and I'm like, God damn it, I wish I could have kept this.
When all you do is press a play button, what the fuck? Or how the fuck did you manage to?
Hey man, I press play on my laptop and I walk away, and that's what I do, man.
How did you
I get
fuck
paid
that
to do
up?
that. Huh?
How did you fuck that up?
Stumbled like on his.
You gotta. It's
Press
kind
the
of.
stop button.
Hey, I'm an extraordinary person. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it could be fucked up, I'm gonna fuck it up.
Murphy's Law.
So I gotta ask you, Arnaud, and I'm pronouncing that right? Arnaud?
Pretty good.
Arnaud.
The D is silent this time.
Oh no. Oh no. All right. So. Oh no.
Sometimes I think people are calling his name, but they're just like they're just going, oh no.
I mean, that's literally the problem with Americans is that we pronounce every vowel and consonant in a word. We do that all the time.
Like the silent letters is such a French thing.
It is. We
But
don't get it.
You guys do good. Like Australian would call me like closer and closer to Anu.
Arnaud?
Yeah.
Oh,
Fuck 'em.
interesting. So I gotta ask you, first of all, I gotta tell you, I think your snare sound is the best snare sound in music. Like literally, I listen to a lot of music. I listen to a lot of genres. It's like my favorite snare sound. Period. Who takes credit for that? You or Martin?
My drum brand, the company I'm endorsing called A&F Drum Co. They're
Okay.
based out of Austin, Texas.
Okay.
It's a fucking. You gonna beep that out? Like all the fucking I say, is it gonna be beeped out? No. You said yes. You said no.
Oh, wait, yeah, all uncensored. No, I was just agreeing because I'm also a drummer and I love A&F.
A&F has been a dream for me,
Yes.
like ever since they came up in 2016, and I've been punishing them till they ended up like handing me a contract. I think it was just like some sort of like peace treaty, just like, hey, shut up.
So what were you doing, like emailing them on a daily basis? or-
I went to see them at NAMM 2019.
oh, so you physically went to harass them.
Oh yeah, I'm this kind of guy. And no, but I was really trying hard to try and import them to France. Like I was
Yeah.
asking like what part could I play in making this a reality in France, and they were, I guess, appreciative of like my desire to make shit happen. So they're just like, hey, do you not just want to join our artist roster, because like we don't have many people representing the metal side of things,
Like overseas.
and I'm just like, I'm so down to do this. And so that incredible company. And then obviously Martin and Luca on the production are just beyond words in terms of the quality of their work and their craft and the way they're trying to make moves forward. Because like obviously 1056 is renowned, in between other things, for the quality of its production, and it's all due to these two guys, Luca and Martin. So
Sure.
for sure, biggest credits to them.
Would you say that snare is layered with other things, or is the majority of that sound actually coming from the drum?
It is obviously layered because we also took the direction of the industrial kind of vibes and sounds that kind of happened by accident in the first place. And then when we noticed how well it worked with our music, we're just like, let's cultivate this, because it's not been done so much in that specific genre. So we felt there was like something for us here to dig deeper, and so it is layered with tons of sample that Luca wouldn't even dare to tell you where they come from, because he he wouldn't hardly know. Yeah, sometimes it's just like a phone recording of a fun noise he found in the street from 3 years ago, and he'd be like, there's my snare.
How it is though is like a producer, because I do like some music producing, so like I know how these things work, you know what I mean? And that's how it works. Like most of these sounds you come across are just like happy accidents, and it's like you feel the need to capitalize on those happy accidents, and that's key. So it's cool that you guys recognize that and just fucking roll with it.
But it's also great because Luca and Martin use like a no bullshit approach. They won't try and go through the processes everyone goes through. Like, he's just such a free spirit in terms of creation, Luca, that he would go with anything and everything, and that's how he came up with a sound that I believe, as a fan, is so unique to some extent, because he didn't follow any processes. It's not just another bedroom producer. He's like making his own thing, not forcing it. He's just doing what. Yeah.
And I think the special thing about Luca, we're definitely sucking Luca's dick a lot because he deserves it, right? And
That's how you're not paying the fine.
yeah, that's it. But the good thing about him is, like, a lot of bands or a lot of producers will like write and produce a track, and they'll get to a point where they'll go like, oh, this is done. But he will just never get to that point. He'll be like, oh, we can push it further and further and further, and he just like sticks on one song so long until he just finds like all these little details that make the song special.
Yeah,
you know?
and I think there's something to be said for the uniqueness of the sound, because it's not like there weren't bands like 1056 before you guys. I mean, Amir was kind of the marquee of the pissed core. We all love Amir. But ever since you guys came out, it seems that there's more bands, including my own, shamelessly, that want to follow that direction of that pissed core. Like, you know, it's not deathcore, it's not metalcore, it's not hardcore. It's just angry, and at least sonically, like the lyrics are different, but it seems
the lyrics are pissed too.
They're pissed, but they're also not. You know, some of these bands, I'm not going to name anybody, but some of these bands, Jesus, I don't know. But when you talk about anger and pissed and all that, it's a lot of like surface level. I'm fucking gonna fuck you up. Where there's a lot of like RLS or Tramadol. Boy, there's a lot of other layers to the songs that you write that aren't just like I'm angry. It's like I'm angry because this. You know, I think that definitely sets that apart from just other bands that might just be like, I'm angry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, definitely. But what I noticed from the uniqueness as well, I did talk to Martin on Facebook because I was so curious about, one, I'm curious how you met him, because from what I understand, from what he told me, is either you're the first or you're the only metal band that he's ever produced, from what he told me.
He
mainly does hip-hop.
He probably worked with his own band, the Daddy Thundering Concept, which happens to be one of our favorite bands, on top of being some of our best friends. But yeah, he's the only one. We're the only ones he'd agree to do live sound for, that's for sure. And we're definitely the band he spends the most time working for. He's a busy man. He gets like a heavy schedule, and still he would make so much sacrifices to make sure that it's not, same thing for him. He never counted the hours, just like went and did the work, no matter how long it took, up until he was finally satisfied and at peace with him. And so Luca and Martin got Luca into doing what he does now. He got him into downloading his first DAW that was obviously Reaper.
Interesting choice.
Yeah, it's free.
yeah, it is free. I see a lot of YouTubers use it.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I mean, it's complete, it's free, it's no bullshit interface, it's straight to the point.
Right.
So
easy to use.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he gets appreciative that seeing Lucas growing like that, and he's so cool with being a part of this process, and we're so happy and blessed to have him aboard. And then I also knew him from 10 years ago. He was like welcoming us in the venue we were playing at sometimes with my older band. So we all go way back, basically.
Okay. And I noticed from just the conversation I had with him and him being such an expert at hip hop, a lot of that bleeds into what you guys do. A lot of the songwriting, a lot of the phrasing that you have. And I'm sure that's also your interest in those genres too that are helping create what you do, because it's a very unique delivery.
Definitely. I mean, I think that definitely comes from, so the writing process is Luca, like, I'm just going to say 99% or whatever, and then, and then me.
Sure.
I just want to give him as much credit as possible because he's really good. But he listens to a lot of hip-hop, French hip-hop, and I listen to a lot of hip-hop. So, when we're both involved, and so does Arno. I mean, everyone in the band is down with hip-hop, so we like to integrate that into our music in the least cheesy way possible.
I think it's a seamless integration too. There's a lot of similarities people don't really understand or just even think about. If you listen to any modern metal song and you do yourself a favor and take away the screams and try to replace them in your head with rapping.
Oh, it's a trap beat.
It's all all breaks, it's all slow, it's all impacts. So when you do it, it doesn't seem forced, it seems very natural. And it blends really well. And when I'm writing for my band, I make a conscious effort to continue to do that, because I think something that is really nice about a lot of these young bands that are coming up is there's not as much gatekeeping from a sense that I have to follow these rules. It's like, okay, I like this genre that has nothing to do with metal, but I'm going to throw it in my band's sound design because it's something I like, and it's accepted, and that's the beautiful part of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about how it's integrated. I mean, there's some bands that try and go back and forth in a song, you know, between rap and metal, and being able to distinguish that switch kind of ruins it for me. So it has to be integrated in a really natural way, and that's what Luke is really good at.
Right.
Yeah.
I assume, I could be wrong, so please correct me. You've been in the States before with Betraying the Martyrs?
Yes.
Yes.
I
So
think we did like 12 or 14 tours.
okay, yeah. So
a
you've
lot
been
of time.
quite a bit. Arnaud, have you been here before?
Just made a quick trip to Los Angeles back in 2019, and then to Omaha, Nebraska, just like 2 weeks
That's so
later.
random.
Isn't it? And I got stuck. I got stuck at the clearance in Dublin because they thought I was frauding for some ways, because they could not believe someone would go on vacation in Omaha. Look, they were
Oh, I can't
dead
either.
ass. Hey man, look, you know,
It's pretty in the summer, I guess. I don't know.
People go to vacation in New York, in Los Angeles, even Chicago. You know what? We'll take it. No one ever fucking goes to Omaha. So what are you gonna do there? What are you here for? Why do you have drumsticks in your suitcase? And I had like a picture of my suitcase,
Yeah.
open, spread out, with the drumsticks in the middle, as if I was like a criminal. Just like, well, just gonna be jamming with my friends over there, and I'm a drummer, so I carry drumsticks everywhere. But I swear to God, I'm not here for any kind of professional endeavors. 4 hours with this.
4 hours.
Yeah, with this custom agent, which, to give credit to her, was very nice and very pretty.
How long ago was this?
That was back in 2019.
Okay.
And
I was going to say,
like,
this is
flying-
post-COVID.
No,
Yeah.
pre-COVID, yeah. But it was flew through Dublin, and the clearance for the US when flying through Dublin happens in Dublin. So I was just like, oh well, there's gonna be a 2 hours flight back home, and that's it for me.
Yeah.
Ended up letting me through, but yeah, what a ride.
Wow. So I have to ask you, I want to ask you, Aaron, because you've been here plenty of times, but I did ask the guys in Landmarks, and they gave me some fun answers. And you've only been on tour here for a week, give or take, but what are some of your favorite things about touring here, and what are some of your not so favorite? And I'll tell you what they said, but I want to hear your answer first.
What Landmark said?
Yeah.
I'm interested to know.
Yeah. So Arnaud, you tell me what you think. What's? I mean, it's very early. It's been a week, but what do you like so far?
I like the scale of things. I like that everything is so big here and that you have so many options everywhere. One thing that I love as much as I hate are the food options, because obviously it's delicious, and obviously it's gonna kill me. And like this like 6 weeks in the US is gonna take another 10 years
Yes.
off my lifespan,
Yes.
which was like pretty low, if you want. Like,
That's
I'm gonna be
exactly
honest,
what
in the
they
first
said.
place.
They're like, the only place to eat are gas stations or rest stops, and
They're not making any fucking efforts though, because we see their pictures. The guys spend their whole days in In-N-Out Burger.
Yeah.
You can do better.
Yeah.
With a Chipotle, I think Chipotle is
Chipotle's
kind of better.
fucking
They're
fire.
not making any effort.
yeah,
Yeah.
You don't.
Do you guys not have Chipotle? Is Chipotle not over there?
We have a couple in Paris, yeah, but I mean,
okay.
in France in general, no.
It's mostly that it's $20 a pop. So if you want a burrito, it's gonna be $20. So that's just a delicacy.
20 euros, which is like 22 bucks.
That's more. That's insane.
Way more.
Yeah, I think the worst thing for us is to access healthy foods at a reasonable price. Everything's a little bit backwards. You know,
Yeah.
you want a salad, $9, $10, $11. You want a double cheeseburger, dollar menu, $1. Yeah, that's a little bit mental. So
And we wonder why we have an obesity problem, because the
Who
people,
knows?
generally the people who can't afford,
it's a
Good
glandular
food.
problem. Okay.
yeah. How many fat famous Americans do you know? Or rich fat Americans?
Jelly roll.
Yeah, but he was that way first. Shout out Jelly Roll. Shout out Cody. We love you.
Yeah. Cody Stewart.
No,
Cody.
Cody. I love Cody Stewart too.
Wait,
But no,
what's his name?
Cody Ash, drummer.
Cody Ash. Did
Yeah,
used to play
that's my
in
homie.
Sylar?
Sylar. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my
Sorry,
guy.
I got your name wrong. I was talking about him. Fat Action Bronson. He's not fat anymore, but he is kind of fat.
Kinda, yeah.
I mean, Donald Trump to us is fat.
Well, yeah, but he doesn't.
mean,
he drinks like a Diet Coke an hour.
Your guys, Diet Coke, that's fine. Jonah Hill is
He-
thin now.
But I feel like he goes back and forth, like for his roles, because like
fat
sometimes.
people over here is different. We have different fat people. You know, like our fat people aren't like your guys' fat people.
What? Can you explain?
Your guys' fat people have like an orbit. You know,
What? No.
like
What?
gravitational force.
Yeah, just there. So you're saying. So what you're saying is people in France are thick, and we're just
Yeah, we don't.
fat.
We definitely.
Dad
we don't want to
bods.
get into fat phobia territory.
No,
because
de-
it's definitely not that kind of
Yeah,
conversation.
right.
But objectively, just just.
There's nothing wrong with dad bod, guys. For real.
Oh no, absolutely not.
Love it.
But like, yeah, like a large person here, back home is like you know. Well, no one's taking people out of their bedrooms with like cranes and
Well,
making shows
it's
called
just like-
600-pound Life. You know, that's not happening where we're from. So
Right.
that's what I'm saying.
Well, and like you guys said, you could get a, sweet iced tea that's got a pound of sugar in it, and a McDouble from McDonald's for $2, and people eat like that every day here. Additionally, statistically, it's just true. Like, I mean, overseas in Europe and stuff, people just eat better. They eat cleaner, and there's more governmental practices that are going on to ensure that people have safer, healthier food. We don't have those sanctions here in the U.S.
Yeah.
We are behind in a lot of different things, and I could go on for hours about the things that the U.S. is behind on, but that is one of the major things, and we've known this for 20, 30 years.
Yeah, and
They
it goes
don't
as
do shit about
far.
it, so.
It goes as far as something as branded and streamlined as McDonald's. Like the European McDonald's is way healthier than the American McDonald's.
It probably
as much
tastes
as I
better
love it.
too.
You guys are very, very damn salty. So I like my
Yeah.
I like my fries salty AF.
Yeah.
But as for the rest, yeah, I have a dry mouth within like my first bite of a quarter pounder. As much of a cultural staple.
High fructose corn syrup shit.
Yeah, we don't have that, right?
Right.
I think that might be illegal where we.
It is illegal, and that's what I was just going to say. You had just talked about McDonald's in other countries. That is exactly, because of these governmental policies that are in place and these sanctions that McDonald's can't operate over there how they do over here.
Well,
They
it's
just
country's standards,
can't.
right?
Yeah.
And that's what, like, people over here get really hard over Mexican Coke because it has real sugar in it, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's what we have. But anyway, I feel like we've said so many bad things about this country and not
Dude,
enough good ones.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Let's hear it.
Let's round it up with merch cuts, obviously. Let's
Yeah.
address the
Fuck
elephant
your
in the room.
merch cuts.
Yeah, fucking merch cuts.
Fuck your merch cuts.
That's not just here. Is
It-
that just here?
It is.
Yes.
In Europe, they do that in festival. If like a separate organization is selling the merch for you, but they
Okay.
will provide a count out, so you know exactly what you're left with. You have like a proper invoice. Here is just like someone
Yes.
coming and collecting.
And you
a
just
tip,
gotta trust them.
basically.
Yeah, for no reason.
Not doing any work. Like, you sell it yourself and then they take a cut. Whereas in Europe, you give them your merch, they give it you back, and they take.
What's the highest percentage you've had to give?
If we were to, Italy was near 40%.
I heard about this.
Now, if we come here, for example, Blue Ridge, if we added like merch cut, transaction fees, card machine fees, state tax, we would have been taxed up to 64%, which basically made no
Oh,
sense for us to sell
God.
anything. Especially coming from France. You know, we shed probably close to 80K before even stepping foot on this country.
Sure.
So then when there's someone coming and trying to rip us off our t-shirt money, was just like what we try and live off, or just not to get so much in debt back home, it really is a bummer. But to balance that, I gotta be honest, the staff and venues are much, much, much better than anything I would have expected. Like, everyone is so kind, so respectful. The venues are very nice, very clean, AC. So obviously the game is very different. Like, we don't have a rider. We just end up here with a pack of water and a pack of beers. Back in Europe, we'd have everything we need in terms of food and snacks and everything. But I don't feel so ostracized too much. It still feels pretty natural. I feel respected. I feel good.
Yeah.
Better
Personally.
than England, actually.
Okay.
It used to be good
Not that hard.
England's taking a fat shit on
Oh,
itself.
really? I mean, people
If you
wonder.
get one water, then you're like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's the same with the States. It's like it's all due to the oversaturation of the market, right? Well, I don't want to go down the political route, but I think it's just like so many bands coming through that they can I guess they can't provide that for everyone, like every band that comes through, and I guess they give them an inch, they'd take a mile. I think it's
Sure.
kind of
Yes.
like that, right?
Yeah.
I think that's more of it.
It's cultural, and it's also that it's so deeply ingrained that either you play the game or you don't.
You're
You
losing.
don't have
Yeah.
a spot.
You don't have a
there.
choice. There's no alternative. If you want to be in a band, go overseas and play. The unfortunate thing is you got to say, thank you, sir, may I have another? It's,
Yeah.
it's...
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well,
But we do love this country. It's great. We're having a great time. Yeah, I feel-
Yeah, let's...
I feel like he's just trying to wire us into like, so government said yes, because of the government what?
Yeah. Listen,
Yeah, I kind of got that.
Cybersecurity.
Oh, so does our bass player.
we good? All
Yeah.
right. All right. So, yeah, I guess the last thing I'll have to say is, and I know this just happened they raised the working visa amount like a year or two ago.
No, it actually happened a couple. No, it's still. I think it's still in voting, still in the process.
Okay, so it
but
hasn't
that
happened
could
yet.
That could go 4 times higher as
Right.
it used to be. Now with the visa we got, thanks to Aaron, who's got such an history in the U.S., we're good for 3 years. Whereas
beautiful.
most bands would have only like 1 year visa, and it's like. Besides the cost, it's mostly about the process in itself that is so damn stressing. Because if you get started a year before your first tour, you still be very tight in terms of like the time frame you have to work with. So we're good till 2026, and it's not even about the cost. Although it's been very expensive, but it's not even about the cost. It's about knowing we don't have to do this till 2026. Is such a relief.
Yeah, it's nice, and I think it speaks to, I mean, whoever's listening. I hear a lot on social media like, why is this band staying in Europe? Why aren't they coming over to the States? Or
You know that you guys have to pay to go over in Europe.
yes, we do.
That's new, right?
Yes, it's brand new. It's ridiculous. Yes, we have to pay. It's not a lot of money, but you have to do it. It's like honestly, I think it's like $10 or something.
Really?
Trivial.
Oh, you had to. We
Yeah.
just added like 3 zeros about this. We just spent 10K to get our working visa to come here.
Yeah, I mean that's what I say is like, if your favorite band from overseas comes to the States and they're not coming to your city, still try to go, because it does. The amount of sacrifices and effort and work and money that you guys have to put in to come over here, it's not going to be a commonplace occurrence. It's fans that don't understand the business or don't understand the bureaucracy behind it all. Just think you hop on a plane with your guitars and your gear on cue, and yeah, there we go. And you're here, and then you go home, and then you'll be here again in a year, whatever. It's not that simple. So if you are listening to this, and there's a band coming in a 300-mile radius to where you live, go see them if they're from Europe, especially, because they might not be back for another 2, 3, 4 years because the process is so long.
What did Landmark say?
They said the food.
They said the food.
They said
And
the
what was
food.
best thing? Probably the crowds and stuff.
They said yes. So I believe that package was Kingdom of the Giants, Landmarks, Currents, and somebody else had
Miss May I?
yes. And I can say for sure that show was one of the most high energy crowds I've been to in a while for Landmark, for everybody, but Landmarks kind of
They bring
kind
it
of they
hard.
kind of stole the show, if I'm
Right,
being
they're
honest.
fucking
No
brilliant.
offense to those other bands, I love those other bands, but yeah. So
And their crew, shout out to their whole crew. They're the best people to work with, like nicest human beings and most
we actually
qualified.
met their merch guy at backstage at Incarceration.
Yeah, so
was
yeah,
it?
and their
Who was
merch
the
guy,
merch
we ended up hanging out with him for a while, and he was really cool. Like playing with the Kadama and everything. You know, everyone does the Kadama now and stuff like
What's
that.
that?
Kadama is like it's like a ball that
Oh,
goes
you
in
gotta-
the and you flip it. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a flow thing. They do to like a lot of like raves. Like, do you guys listen to any EDM stuff like Subtronics or something?
No, but I can
Trying to get
imagine
into
that.
it.
I can imagine people on
Yeah,
acid
it's like
trying to
it's
put a
like big
ball
in
into
that
a stick.
scene, like you know, with the hula hoops and the LED stuff. But yeah, the Landmarks merch guy was pretty cool, and they were just professional in general. Like their whole team is professional.
For
Well,
sure.
they took us out on our first ever tour.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they gave
Oh,
us
I didn't
that
know
break.
Yeah.
When did 1056 was it pre-COVID that you began?
No, we started through COVID. Released our first music in 2021 and played our first show with Landmarks in Paris, our hometown, which is so cool.
I think I remember seeing that on social media.
In March of 2022, and then our next show was in Switzerland on the kickstart of the European tour we did with them, and that definitely brought a lot of opportunities on the table. That
Sure.
set us up. Yeah, sure.
Since you're from the UK, and this might be an obvious question, I just don't know the answer. How did you link up with these guys? What is the history behind? Yeah, everybody.
Okay. Well, so I moved to France to join my old band, Betraying the Martyrs.
Right. How long ago was that? Like what?
2010.
Okay.
September
Wow.
2010.
Forever ago. Right.
13 years ago. Yeah. And then with these guys. Okay, so my first show with Betraying the Martyrs, Luca was there.
Mm-hmm.
He was 13 years
Oh
old.
my gosh.
And we met. He was like first show.
Does that make you feel old? Not until I just asked.
No, not really, because I don't look at him like that
Sure,
kid, you know, because
sure.
he's his own man and he kills it.
Yeah.
So no, not really. Me and Arno, we're more like acquaintances more than friends, you know. He was a monster in one of Betraying the Martyrs music videos, and his girlfriend at the time was a makeup artist, and we
that's
played
cool.
some shows together. So we crossed paths and stuff. But it's me and Arno who started the band. Like, I don't know why, I just called him. And
I wanted to start a jazz band, and then I badly fucked up when Aaron called me. And I said yes.
I don't know why I called him. I was like, I always know.
So it wasn't like you needed to scratch the itch. You just were like, yeah, I'm bored.
We weren't even really boys that much. But Steve, who plays guitar in Betraying the Martyrs and plays bass in 1056, he just kept going on and on and on about how cool Arno is, and I was just like, well, I trust Steve, so he's probably really cool. So I just tried to start a band with him, and now he doesn't play jazz.
And then we have sex together to avoid the masturbation fan. So, you know.
We're the same height, so we don't really have to.
That is the other thing. You guys came out of the tour bus. Listen,
bigger than me, I'm joking.
I'm 5'7", Ian. I don't know about you.
What?
You're not. We're the same height, yeah.
I'm a little taller, I think.
Oh, just shut the fuck up. No, definitely not.
I'm 6'4", nearly 6'5".
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
you
So I
should
guess
be
that
playing
puts me at
basketball.
6'3", 2, 6'3".
You pretty good on the court? You play basketball at all? Anything athletic?
Do I look like I play basketball?
Listen,
Yeah.
if I had that height, I'd play. Even if I sucked, I'd still play.
I'm not athletic. I wanted to do rock climbing, but the rock climbing wall in my city opened. Yeah, I was just out from the get-go. No. I was in martial arts when I was younger,
that's
and then I
cool.
just like dedicated all to music. Wasted my my youth away just practicing my drums in my basement while the other guys were making out and having sex. You know.
I feel like that's every drummer, though.
That's what you got to do.
That's what I, you know.
Yeah, and we're outcasts. We're outcasts, and then we get back right back into the scene and shine.
I also played in jazz band and then got into a metal band as a drummer.
that's
But like we
worse.
never, got
It's
bigger
just
or
like
anything.
the
but
virginity
it's,
seal.
I feel like that's like a drummer thing, man. Like every drummer plays in a fucking jazz band, then they go into a metal band.
I
Like
was
that's
in metal.
pretty like common.
I was in metal first, then discovered Herbie Hancock. That was like my gateway into jazz and fusion and everything. And I was just bored, not so much with the music, but the industry around it. Like the business model of metal music, where it's just like deeply ingrained in your brain that you're never going to make money out of it. That you got to make sacrifices,
Jesus.
that you got to sleep on fucking people you don't know, the dirty floor here and there. And then I see my jazz peeps or my just like pop music peeps having the tour bus. We grew up together. Tour bus picking them out down their apartment, bringing them out like 200 miles away. Play 2 shows in the weekend. Come back home with $2,000 in the pocket, sleeping in 4-star hotel. I was like, I want this. And then Aaron called me, and I was back all over again, sleeping on people's floor. I should hate you. I feel like I should hate you.
So I do have to ask you, Aaron, because when COVID hit, I was in between bands actually, and there was not a part of me that said, "Yeah, let me start another band." Like, because back then we forget so quickly how quick that ended, but the mindset back then was like,
How quick COVID ended?
Yeah, as far as like we forget how shitty that was. Well, we couldn't see people. I don't know how it was in France, but over here.
I've said this in a few interviews before.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't do this dipshit with
You're good.
Dipshit, that's funny. I mean, apart from all the people that got ill and lost their lives, which is obviously a terrible thing,
horrible, right?
I was in Thailand when it hit.
Oh, wow.
I decided to stuck around for a few weeks or 2 months or something in Thailand. And then I came home and I was living with my girlfriend. We were just playing video games and then decided to start a band. And then we did that. And it kind of gave us the time. I think a lot of bands were like, oh, COVID, we can't do shit. Let's just kind of hang out. But we had a different approach. My old band had the approach of, oh, let's take some time off. When we weren't really doing anything at all anyways, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, I think to find a silver lining on that horrible pandemic, whatever, it gave us the time to really get our heads down and come out the other side with a project that was like already done. So
it's actually interesting that you mentioned that because I was, January 2020, I was at NAMM, out of all places, and I was at the Vola booth, and I don't know if it was Luca or not. I got to look back on the video, but...
He's right there.
Sitting on the table, that's him that you saw.
Oh, okay.
All right, well, Quentin, who was setting up the stage, is going to come join.
Okay. What's going on? But yeah, I was at NAMM 2020, and I was at the Vola booth, and then they had two guys from Kadinja started playing, and that was you, huh?
One of the two guys.
I still have the video somewhere deep in my phone, but that was
oh, cool.
That was pretty cool because I was diving in. I've been playing guitar for not nearly as well as you, but I've been playing guitar for 2 decades, and that was kind of my introduction to starting to go in the more artisan boutique sort of route instead of just buying the Schecter from Guitar Center or the whatever. So I was really interested in Vola. There's actually that. God damn, I can't think of the band name now. The song Planetary Duality. Who's the band that... Faceless, thank you.
They got Michael Keane.
Yeah, he has a signature guitar with them, and I was like, I want that thing. But I ended up going with solar guitars, and I love those guys too. But yeah,
pretty good.
I saw you at... that's cool. I was like, about to bring that up. He's like, oh, he's right here. I was like, that's sick. So what are you doing? What are you besides... this?
I mean, Kadinja is still a thing.
Yeah.
We are coming back like in a few weeks or months now. After 3 years of almost nothing.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Mostly because also of 1056 for me and other bands for the other band's member, you know.
That's very cool.
Like we all have different projects that were pretty big those past years, so...
Pierre plays in, Daniel plays in. The other guitarist, he plays in Novelist too.
Oh, yes. There's so many crossovers, it's hard to keep track. What I love about 1056 in such a difference from Kadinja, and I actually have disagreements with my producer engineer about this all the time, and he doesn't like it, and I love it. I love how guitar is used as a percussive instrument.
That's exactly the thing with 1056 too.
Yes.
That's exactly.
And he has this argument. It's like those guys in Kadinja are so talented. If I could just hear the tones more and all this, I'm like, but I see it as the whole song. You know, there's a place for virtuosity, obviously, but for me, what makes 1056, I guess, so catchy, is that you're not listening to a million different nuances. You're hearing a whole substance at once, and everything matches together. Yeah. I'm glad I'm hitting the nail on the head here because, but is there is that a philosophy you guys went into originally?
Yeah, and this is very important to see guitars and instruments in general in that band, like a part of only one big sound, you know. Of course, guitars doesn't really sound like guitars, actually.
Right.
You don't hear many notes and many...
Bridge cables.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. But this is completely the goal with that project. And I think Luca, who produced everything and write everything also, will be the very first one to say it. And this is funny because the very first comment we had that goes on this way, like guitars doesn't sound like guitars, it sounds like percussive guitars, percussive instruments. He was like, fuck yeah, somebody say it, that's cool.
Well, I'm not sure anybody's actually done that before, because even the other bands that are similar to 1056, there's a little bit more tonality in the guitars, a little bit differently produced, where this is, as I was saying them earlier in the interview, it's made like a hip hop song. You know what I mean? It's very, it's very cohesive. Like, even, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'll tell him this when he comes back, but I didn't even discover Betraying the Martyrs until after 1056. So when I go back and listen to Betraying the Martyrs and hear his voice on that, it sounds funny to me. Whereas here, it sounds right.
I can understand that.
Yeah, that's what like most of older Aaron's fans would instantly say about 1056, is that it feels like he finally found his home with 1056. And I think it's true, because that was the point in the first place. That was for him to have a how do you say that, an outlet to express what he really had in his guts, be it in terms of like lyrical content or vocal, not even techniques, because it's not about technique with Aaron. I mean, you can feel that it's not a guy that will think in terms of, fry or growls or whatever. He just does Aaron.
It's just natural.
Yeah. And the music Luca puts out and the influences we're trying to gather and the kind of like no compromise, no agenda philosophy that we enforced straight from day one helped him really go above and beyond into what he was able to explore, and it's been a success every time. Like, we get excited every time because he would come up with so many creative outcomes in regards to the new songs, and I think he loves it, we love it, the fans are very excited because they know there's gonna be some sort of like little tweak that was never there before in every new song we put out in terms of what Aaron tries to explore. So yeah, it's a blessing in that regard. Yeah,
definitely. I was just telling them.
Sorry, I just had to go to the toilet.
I was just telling them that I was, to be honest with you, late to discovering Betraying the Martyrs until after 1056. And we were talking about how these guitars are used as percussive instruments, and on the same line, your voice, when I hear your voice on Betraying the Martyrs songs, it doesn't sound natural to me because I heard 1056 first. Right. When I hear it on 1056, I'm like, it makes sense. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I've always been a big believer in like, sorry, it was a big night last night. So
you're good.
Like the vocals have to match the musical style. Like,
right.
If you're doing a drop C riff or whatever, and it's got, it's kind of fast and it's not too deep, you can't just go and stick like guttural or high vocals on it just because it sounds cool.
Yeah.
Whatever. It has to match the general feeling of the song.
Cohesive. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So when Betraying the Martyrs started to go more into that metalcore, like less down-tuned kind of style, I had to match that, and that isn't my natural vocal range. And what we're doing with 1056, it's a lot easier for me to use the range that I'm most comfortable with. And it just feels like it matches. It feels more natural for me to do my vocals like that and express myself the way that I've always wanted to.
Right, exactly. Do you do all the lyric writing, or do you share that responsibility?
Oh, absolutely. I do all of it.
You do all of it?
Yeah.
So I
wouldn't
this.
have anyone else do it. Like,
worst case scenario, he asks us permission for some of the subjects.
Yeah, sometimes I'll be like, can I say something
Can I dive
this bad?
into this one?
And these guys are really cool. They're like, express yourself. You need to do it. Whereas with my old project, not to shit on them or whatever, but it wasn't. Kind of had to go through like an approval process, and I had to fit a kind of a mantra that they had set before I even joined the band. So I was very limited in the way that I could express myself.
Oh, it's cool you have that outlet with your mates. They're not just like a band in a business way, but you have that outlet with your bandmates as friends that you can bounce these ideas off of, and you're like, hey, is this shit or is this not? Should I talk about this or should I not?
Well, if Arno wanted to put a certain feel into a track, I wouldn't be like, that shit, I don't like it. I'll be like, all right, well, that's how you that's your style. If that's what you want to do, then do it. You know.
Well, or some things are so subjective, like, and that's the thing with working with other people is those other people could do things that you necessarily wouldn't have thought of beforehand. And, you know, at the time you could be like, oh, well, it's okay. But then you release the song and people are, I love that part. And you're like, wow, that really was a good idea. So, like, you know, some of it's kind of like after sight in a way. But it's cool that you have that humbleness as a group to be like, okay, you know.
Well, I think this can only happen if you can trust all of your mates' tastes and expertise in that regard.
Yes.
And the good thing about this
Very
band
key.
is that we all come from different background where we grinded our teeth for the past 10 years. So we're not newbies just like fumbling around, although that's still a good thing, right?
Right.
Like exploring no matter where and when is the best thing about art. But we all trust each other's tastes. So even if we don't really vibe with a specific aspect or idea, we just trust the guy to say, like, maybe I just don't get it yet.
Yeah.
And I need to just educate myself about this in particular. And then it grows on you eventually. So that's kind of a, like, comment on dit enrichissant? Enriching? It's an enriching experience being in this band, being like stylistically, aesthetically, musically.
It's a good culture too. Like
We learn so much from each other. We're all as humble as we can be. When it comes to conversations, we try to not override anyone's opinion on any subjects, but just like try and listen to each other. And Luca, of all, who listens, who writes absolutely everything, he would still listen to any suggestion we'd have to make, and we'd usually like try whatever we have to suggest with no judgment.
Yeah.
Although he's written like a million songs.
There's so many artists that will come up with an idea and then get like so married to it
Yes.
that their ego will get in the way, and they'll be like,
Oh no, I really thought that was good. No, I don't know if I feel that's cool. I'm going to do it anyways. That
no,
exactly.
They'll absolutely not be open to open to any change on their idea. But he obviously really enjoys his ideas. But if someone else has a suggestion, he'll be totally open to try it out. And he won't like block on it. He'll be like, okay, well, actually, you're right. It does sound better. Let's go with that.
Definitely.
Which is a really good.
It's like your guys is Rick Rubin, in a way.
Who's Rick Rubin again?
Rick Rubin is like the biggest producer.
Oh yes. Yeah, Beastie Boys and everything.
Yeah.
He's like a guru kind of guy in a way too, where he just like his vision usually comes to fruition in a lot of different ways, so people just trust him.
Yeah, we
You know?
definitely trust him.
And he's not a technician by any means. He identifies to some extent to Rick Rubin because he doesn't have technique for shit. He's just like tweaked around, fucked around, and found out. And he knows what he likes. He knows what he doesn't like with enough confidence to enforce it in a way that's gonna be fruitful in the end.
Rick Rubin.
Rick Rubin. I mean, like bar the beard and the white hair, and he usually wears shoes around. Unless he lost them. He lost a pair of shoes on the Howard 2 of being in the US.
Yeah, I think that's.
So you guys just talk so highly of him. Like,
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about Luca. Here's the thing about
shit about Luca to counterbalance it.
Here's the thing about Luca. I've been talking to him for 2.5 years online. I've been trying to set this up periodically. Obviously, first time here, but I've been trying to set it up online and all these things. I get here. It's you lovely guys. Luca, he's like Slash or Santa. He doesn't actually exist.
He's a real. Yeah, just
Shit,
to kind
are
of
there
roll
kids
off
around?
Yeah, well, he could be here. He's pretty. No, anyway.
No,
he's.
I'm just busting his balls. I know he's probably going to see this, so.
No, he was setting up merch, and also he's a real artist in the sense that he's very timid.
Fair.
He likes to work alone.
Yeah.
After a few beers, he might get a little bit less timid, but yeah, I mean, and also he's French. He doesn't have a lot of confidence in his English, although it is very good. He's just a timid artist with a lot of talent, and yeah, I like the fact that he's a little bit mysterious,
Yeah.
you know.
No, you need what you really need one of those guys, right?
Yeah,
it's usually
it's
the
him.
front man, but you're very charismatic, which is good. That's what you also want.
Thank you.
But yeah, you need one of those guys in the band. I always think about that from a marketing standpoint. Like if everybody's super outgoing, but the band sound isn't super outgoing, it's kind of like, huh.
And he looks like Jeff Hardy too, which
Yeah.
is a big plus.
Yeah, yeah.
Pocket sized, but yeah.
Pocket-sized Jeff Hardy. Make a T-shirt with that.
That was him talking a little bit of shit to
There we go.
counterbalance. Yeah.
I feel it.
Maybe I'm plugging them too hard.
Yeah. So from here, you're touring what the rest of your this go bleeds into October, correct? Or yeah, and then you head immediately back over.
Yeah, so last show is in Atlanta on October 20th. We're landing in France on October 23rd, and we're starting the Never Say Die European tour on November 3rd. And then
And that one looks pretty stacked. Who's on that one?
Yeah.
Who's on that bill?
Oh, sorry. So that's Nasty, King 810, us, Left to Suffer, Fox Lake, Reduction.
That's a
it.
ridiculous bill, and
gonna
you
be
gotta let me know how the guys are in King 810 because that's a band.
We already had a month on tour with them back
Really?
in April. Yeah, together with Alpha Wolf. They're really cool. They're really
Yeah.
chill. They're
They seem scary.
no
That's the
low
point.
calorie bullshit guys. They will talk just as much as is needed, not much, not more.
Wow.
They're very calm. They're like a heavy but peaceful presence to be around.
Interesting.
It's kind of hard to imagine.
No, they are. David, the vocalist, is very soft-spoken. He doesn't speak when he doesn't need to.
That's that mystery because on
That's that
stage
mystery.
he's like a
He's a fucking
Murderer,
monster.
yeah.
Yeah. But no, he's very intelligent. I'm sure he has some viewpoints that not a lot of people agree with, but he's a solid guy and he stands by what he believes in.
sure.
He doesn't try and push it. He's just there. I don't know. I kind of respect him in a lot of ways.
Oh, you know. We King 810 was among one of my favorite bands, and most of the guys in the band really love him too. And then meeting them was kind of a pleasant surprise in the end, because obviously when you reach Heal Online, you get prepared, like you gear up for like maybe the weirdest month of your
Right.
life, right? No, they're just a bunch of dudes. They're pretty cool. They're pretty social and outgoing. You can crack a joke. No one's gonna stab you. These are
It's honestly usually how that goes with when the band is so sinister, evil, brutal. The members are usually really cool. It's the bands that aren't like that where you find out so and so got canceled because this and that.
I guess like playing this kind of music, and that goes with us as well. This provides an outlet that
Yes.
really to let the steam out on stage, and then get out of here a saner person up until the next night when you need to do it again.
Right.
Right.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I mean, the shit that my band makes is really fucking pissed. I'm not an angry person at all. So I tell us, I golf with a buddy of mine, and he gets really mad on the course like some of these golfers do. And I'll hit a shitty shot, and I'll be like, whatever. He's like, why aren't you mad? I'm like, you got to listen to more metal, bro. Because you won't be this mad anymore.
Got to get on stage and headbang till your
Get all that shit out.
vertebrae and
It's like
discs are
working
fucked.
out. It's
Neck
yeah,
brace or something.
It is.
exactly. And then
Oh,
any
yeah.
plans to record after all the touring is done, or you guys taking a little bit of breaks? I know you just dropped Downer Part 2, so
We do not want to take a break. We were actually planning on releasing new music as soon as the end of 2023, but
Oh, wow. So you're sitting on
exceptional
something
tour
right now.
offers keep coming up,
Yeah.
and we really love playing shows. So far, our success is getting in the way of us writing new music, but we're certainly
God damn it.
doing it. And we already have some material ready, but we love to get more. But then, yeah.
And that's the worst when you have something ready and you're sitting on it and you're just like, and then you've listened to
We're
it
not
so
gonna
many
sit on it too
times.
long.
You don't. I hate that. I can't tell you how many times you listen to it, and then you hate it because you've heard it so many times, and then you have to try to listen to it again.
Next single, I'm really confident about it.
Hell yeah.
I've listened to it maybe 1,000 times.
And you're so cool with it. That's when you know it's going to be like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that passed all the tests. Do you have anything else you want to ask before we wrap it up?
Yeah, maybe get some hoodies out here. It's getting a bit cold.
Yeah, it's chilly, man. I'm over here kind of shivering. I see your hair standing up on your arms. You didn't even know. Yeah, it's chilly out here. No, I would just say, like, I ask people this question, but I feel like it's appropriate to ask you guys. You guys are cool. What's the craziest thing you've seen so far in the States? And it could include Blue Ridge stuff, I suppose.
On this particular tour, or just
I would just say, like, in general, but try to probably stick to this tour. So
oh, there's
far.
There's Luca. There he is, mysterious.
elusive.
Oh, and he's leaving. He's gone.
Kennedy didn't even see us.
Yeah.
See? Oh, There he is. The man, the myth, the legend.
We were just talking about you a lot. It's hard not to.
No. Bonjour.
What's up? You remember me? I talk to you all the time. How you doing, Luca? Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Yeah, we got the whole gang here. So now you know he exists. He's real. He's not Slash or Santa, so we're good.
He's Jeff Hardy come.
He's got a little bit of Skrillex. A little Skrillex look to him.
Yeah. It's only the hair. I kind of like it though. It's a cool look.
So yeah, craziest thing you've seen, I guess. Over
It's
here.
a really, really, really long story, man. It's a really long.
How
story.
long are we talking?
Oh my god. Okay, all right. I'll
Yeah.
go through it really quick.
Yeah,
so we
go
was
for
on
it.
tour with Attila in 2013
Okay.
in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We took some mushroom chocolate stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right, and then we went out to a party. First party, there was a girl having a seizure there, and we were all tripping out, so we left.
Smart.
And at the show, we had a thing at the merch, like we need somewhere to stay because we were touring in a small van or whatever. And some kid comes up and he's like, "You can stay at my place, like no problem," and all this. And we were like, "Okay, fine." Got his number. We went out to party with the Attila guys. Went to some really weird parties where people were taking loads of drugs, and there was like old men there and lots of young people. And we were like, "This is weird as fuck." So we left there, and then we met this other guy. He was a Mexican guy, I think, and it was like the guy out of Superbad.
Okay.
You know, like
Yeah.
who thinks everyone likes him, but everyone hates him.
Yep, that
He's
guy at the party.
Yeah.
Who's like he's pretending he knows everybody. People are like, "Dude, why are you
It
here?"
was exactly like that
Yeah.
guy, and he kept taking us to places.
Oh God.
And like, "Oh, these are my friends. We train the martyrs." And we were like, "Well, we're not really your mate," and everyone hated him, right? And it was super awkward. So we got to this guy's address. The guy who said we could sleep at his house.
Yeah. This is the same guy. The same guy who thought he was friends with everybody. He's the guy you.
No,
Oh,
different
okay.
guy.
Okay.
So we were like,
It's like, you're gonna
the guy
get
who came to the merch
killed.
gave us his address. And he's like, "You could stay at our house." So we got there, and he was living in like a parking garage, like just a box, right? And it had a broken TV and a broken couch
Wait.
in there, and there was a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And he was in there was a bathtub in there, and he was in there with his wrists slit because his girlfriend broke up with him. And we were like, "You need to call an ambulance," and they said, "No, he can't afford it."
America. Sorry.
So I freaked out. Obviously, went and slept in the van. I can't remember what happened. I think the rest of the guys kind of took care of him, made sure he was all right. He ended up being okay. But that was the most craziest thing ever.
It doesn't even sound like a real story.
It doesn't.
It sounds
but
like a
it's
horror
true.
movie, like
It's
an independent
100%
film.
True. 100% true.
Wow.
And the other craziest things is like going into Golden Corral and seeing people that
Golden Corral.
are like the size of a house,
Yeah.
and they're like
On Sunday.
and they're like grey, and they got oxygen tubes in their nose, and they go there in the morning and they stay until dinner.
You know that
That's
Eric
mental.
Andre meme where he shoots the person on the couch
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, "Why did this happen?" That's those people.
Yeah.
Sorry, but that's
I'm
true.
gonna pass it to Arnold.
Yeah.
What's your craziest thing?
Dude, I've been here for a week. I hadn't seen much. Like just people riding scooter in Walmart is like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be an asshole here.
That's
Cancel
fine.
me if you will. I
No,
don't give a shit.
No, don't.
Going
it's
to
fine.
Walmart for me to some extent is like going to the zoo.
Holy shit!
I'm so sorry.
Said it.
I'm so sorry, but I stand by my words
That's
here.
the thumbnail
this is
of
not,
the video.
This is not some of these things I've seen in there isn't normal. You should not.
No, I agree.
You shouldn't like let this shit go by. You just like fix that.
Go to Target. You won't see any of that at Target. Just Walmart. Target's like the bougie
No,
Walmart.
but I want it.
No.
I want it. I want it.
Facts.
I'm fine with it. I
Okay.
love it.
Yeah. It's good people
love it.
watching. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Definitely.
You can even feed him and everything. It's so cool. It's so interactive.
Can we use that term "people" loosely as well?
You have anything?
Definitely don't cancel me.
We're here for a week. I
Yeah.
haven't seen much.
No.
You guys haven't been here long.
Yeah.
It's kind of- I wasn't sure.
Might have to follow up
That was a good
later on with that one. But
That was a good.
The
Yeah.
Albuquerque story is 100% true.
It sounds like a fever dream.
it does.
If you guys talk to the Attila boys later, they will tell you the same story.
That's life on shrooms, man.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we were on shrooms.
Yeah.
But that definitely happened. We weren't tripping that much, you know?
Definitely. Well, hey, thanks so much, guys,
We
for
went
coming on. I appreciate it. When I saw you were coming even close to where we were, we had to make this happen, and I'm glad we did. So
How far away are you guys?
it was just 2 hours, not too bad.
Easy.
Yeah, it's not bad.
No.
Hey, playing the victim game here. We drove 7 hours to be here.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and it was. I like having the conversation.
We've drove a lot further for interviews, believe me. So this was pleasant. This was great day outside and great talking to you guys. So best of luck on the road. Best of luck traveling back, and best of luck with everything in the future. I'm sure we'll link up again at some point.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely.